All right, welcome back, everybody. This is going to be a recap for my trades on this Thursday, September 14th, 2023. Okay, so no morning show this morning. Actually, I had a doctor's checkup, so wasn't available to have the morning show. But I did get back a little bit after 10. First trade I put on was a buy on the mini Russell. The buy on the mini Russell came in as an HF2 buy on the mini Russell. Entered as about a quarter till or so, but I had to hold this for quite a while. I actually did not get out at this first target. It did hit my target, all right. I wasn't watching it, to be honest with you, and I missed it. So, but I did catch it on later on towards the end of the day and didn't finally hit my target, so I went ahead and got out. So I did go ahead, and there was never really a strong pullback against me, so I was okay holding it a little bit longer. Plus, everything else was pretty strong, so there's no reason really to get out. So anyway, made nice little money on the mini Russell. Also, I'm going to show you, we're going to look at the stocks first. I'm going to show you what I call crystal ball trades. You haven't seen me do that before. We call it CB, crystal ball. I've have taught this particular approach to trading the currencies. So if you're a Forex trader, like to trade currencies, this is probably, as far as I'm concerned, the best way to trade currencies if you're a scalper. And there are videos on my YouTube channel, Innovative Trading Strategies. Go check out crystal ball and also explain why I call it the crystal ball. So anyway, check out those videos, but let's take a look at a couple of currencies that I did today as well with the crystal ball. All right, so as my students know, I use a crystal ball quite a bit when I'm trading the currencies, and I like to trade them in the evening, all right? So I don't use crystal ball that much first thing in the morning. You could, but I'm usually focused on using Einstein and other methods when I'm trading in the morning, looking at the stocks, looking at some of the indices. But when it comes to the currencies, I like to trade the currencies in the evening, anytime after 8 p.m., okay? Anytime after 7 o'clock p.m., but preferably 8 p.m. East Coast time. You can start as early as 7, but things really started heating up around 8. So that's when I really started getting more focused on it. So the students that understand the crystal ball method, to be able to go back and look at these charts and see why I was getting these trades. But on the Aussie US, first trade came in as a CB short, and I'm typically not going to be carrying these trades more than, sometimes I'm only going to be in it maybe a minute. Sometimes I could be in it 2 or 3 minutes, but definitely a scalping trade. So I took my first short this evening on a CB short on the Aussie US and took my exit about 4 minutes later. Also had an additional CB trade showing up as well later on, around 2 at 26 after, and I was out of this one 3 minutes later for a nice little profit. So those were the two trades on the Aussie US. My favorite is on the yen. So let's look at the trade that I put on the yen. I didn't do anything on the Euro US, which I really like. But the yen US is probably my favorite, so let's take a look at that real quick. All right, so here we go. I said yen US, I meant US yen. US yen. So US yen, one of my favorites, also came in as a short shortly after, let's see, I think it was 8:30. Yeah, 8:31 actually had the short, CB short. Held on to this for nearly 4 minutes. Did finally go ahead and get out. Made a nice little profit on that. I did not take any additional. I did have another CB short right back over here. I did not take that one, and I think that was, yeah. And then we had a CB buy. I think it came in right around here, but I don't have those because I didn't take those. So anyway, two nice little shorts on the currencies. And let's take a look at how we did on our stocks today. Stocks were not too bad, even though I came in late. So let's look at that. All right, so here we go. Here we are. UPTD. I think was on a lot of people's radar. The only thing that I was a little hesitant to do was put it on because, like I said, I didn't get back until around 10:30 or so, and this setup didn't actually happen. It wasn't HF1 buy. Didn't happen until after 11 a.m. East Coast time. So, but it was an HF1 buy. It was strong, was on everybody's radar. I did looked at the book to see what kind of order flow we had. I was also looking at Einstein on multiple levels. We did have multiple targets. I went ahead and took the buy. It turned out to be a really nice one. And it was, but once again, I want to just remind everybody that most of your big spikes, okay, which is what we're all looking for, right? When the market just kind of goes parabolic on us, going to come in the morning. Very seldom does it come, later in the morning, early afternoon, even the late afternoon during the power hour. You don't see a lot of those big spikes. Now you can see continuation, yes, but typically those really quick spikes where it's moving, a dollar or so, during 15, 20 seconds. I mean, that's what we love, right? Doesn't happen a lot, but that's typically when it's going to happen is either right before or shortly after that opening bell. But anyway, I did take this one. Didn't expect to get out of it what I did get out of it. Buying it around 11, it was like 11.98, but I ended up getting out at 13.30. So, nice little trade. I mean, I was really surprised it even went up $1, but nonetheless it did. And so once it hit this was my second target up here. Once it hit second target, I went ahead and got out. Wasn't going to hold it any longer. And that was it for me. I did a few other scalps. Let's look at everything then I did today. I did a little bit of LABD. Once again, scalp. That came in later in the afternoon. And of course, ZYXI also came in later in the afternoon. As far as everything else, nice little trade once again on the mini Russell, and did well on the US yen and on the Aussie US. So those two were CB. Have them marked here so you can see the difference. Of course, Einstein is what I'm usually trading in the morning when I'm looking at the indices and or the stocks. All right. So overall, not a bad day. So hopefully volatility is starting to pick up a little bit. So let's see if we can't end the week on a nice Friday. Once again, Friday's a little tricky, so always come in a little bit cautious. But if we have a lot of good movement in the morning, I want to jump on board and take advantage of it. So we'll see what happens. And that's going to wrap it up. For further information, you can find that on my YouTube channel, InnovativeTradingStrategies.com. I do teach my method, same one I've been using. I've been a trader for over 40 years. And same one I've been using here for the last 36 years of my career. So I know this approach works. It's fairly simple. And the beauty of what I do, it's universal. So I have my own set of patterns. And so I'm not using any of the publicly available indicators or patterns. These are all designed by myself. And it's fairly simplistic. And it does work across the board, which I think is important for any kind of tool that you're using. You want to see the tool work across the board in all markets. And a lot of new traders don't understand that. They get caught into the hype of what they read on the internet. People say they make a lot of money using this indicator or that indicator, but they really don't. And if they do, they're not using truly the indicator. They become really good at reading the market. So the tools give you some advantage. There are tools that are better than others that consistently will give you an advantage. And that's basically what my tools do. But once again, it's like anything else. You still have to learn how to use those tools to become a good trader. So don't let anybody kid you thinking that somebody's going to sell you something, all of a sudden you're going to be making a lot of money. Because that's just never going to happen, folks. It's just, I don't care. I've seen it all. I've been in this business a long time, even when I started back in the 80s. There was a lot of hype going on, and I got suckered into buying a lot of stuff too. So I've seen it all. But everybody wants you to think it's easy, but it's not. So if you're going to get in this business thinking you're going to make easy money, it's probably not the business for you. But if you're willing to learn and put in a lot of screen time, you can make a good living out of it. Once again, it's going to take time and dedication, and that's just the way this business is. Okay, so it's not an easy business, but the key is that the more screen time you put in, the better you're going to be at reading the markets. And every single one of these markets, whether it's the Aussie US or the US yen or the Russell or whatever it is, they have their own little personality. And the key is that get to know that personality. That's why you see a lot of very successful traders maybe only trade the E-mini S&P 500, or maybe they only trade the mini Russell, because they know this personality, and that's fine. There are certain instruments that you can do that, like the indices. You can trade that every single day. But you couldn't come in and say, well, I'm going to trade LABD every day, because it just doesn't have that kind of volatility every day, right? So, or the currencies are usually really good too. So if you want to be a currency trader, you look at things like the US yen or the Aussie or the Euro US that tend to have a lot of volume. So that's what you're going to focus on, and you can focus on just one. I have many students, that's all they do. They just focus on one. They look for the patterns, or whether they're trading CB or they're trading another method, and they just focus on one. And that's okay too, and that's probably recommended, particularly as you're starting off as a trader. Focus on one market, and then expand as you go if that's what you want to do. So that's it. Should have a morning show tomorrow now, so we'll be here again in the morning, and we'll take a look and see if we have anything on the radar, and see if we're going to make some trades in the morning with some of these stocks. Currencies, more than likely, yes, but that's probably going to be afternoon, so wait and see on that. And then, of course, on the indices, more than likely, we're going to have some trades setting up on the currencies. Not going to be doing any gold. We may do some energies. So energies are starting to pick up again. Crude oil and the natural gas. I didn't have anything that I liked today, but it is starting to heat up. So once again, when they start heating up, that's when I want to jump back in. So we'll look at that in the morning, just see what the action looks like. If it's good, then we'll maybe set up for something on Monday. I don't like to do anything on the metals, and I don't like to do anything on the energies on a Friday. But if things are starting to heat up for those on Friday, then more than likely I'll be coming in on Monday and doing some trading on those as well. All right, that's it. I hope to see everybody in the morning. Don't forget to subscribe and also hit that like button. And if you would also hit that notification bell, you'll be first to be notified when these updated videos come out, where I do an update on not only my trades for the day, but you should also be notified when I release the morning show. You'll see the live morning show for at least the first 30 minutes. You can always come back later on and watch my trading the first 30 minutes of the day before I go into Discord and trade with my subscribers. All right, everybody have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.